Hey writers, I am Lee Jessup, career coach for emerging and professional screenwriters, coming at you today with a video breaking down open writing assignments, also known as OWAs. Writers often hear about writers working for hire. The reality in the industry today is the majority of writers who make a full-time living from writing do so through open writing assignments or staffing opportunities rather than selling original content. That is just the reality of the industry, one of the many. So, how do you connect to those open writing assignments? I'll talk to writers who will meet me for the first time, come in for a career coaching intake session, and ask me, so how do I go about getting an OWA? How do I get a writing assignment? What do I need to do? So there are different ways to go about it. I want to break down the nature of what they are and then how you ultimately get them. An open writing assignment can be a book adaptation, it can be a rewrite, it can be an adaptation of a podcast or a news item or any adaptation of any sort. It can be a comedy punch up. It can be a character pass on a script. It can be a total page one rewrite on something that producers already have. It can also be developing your take on a concept the producers brought to you that they thought up in the office, and effectively brought in some writers to develop takes and try and get the job. And on the TV writing side, it can be that similar thing where you are developing a pilot with producers for an idea that they wanted to develop, whether it started internally in the company or whether it's something that they're bringing in for adaptation from a podcast, from a blog post, from a book, from whatever it is. So those are kind of our options. In some ways, staffing in a writer's room, which is a different path, is also working for hire, though it's not an open writing assignment in the same way. Now, how do you go about getting them? That's the big question for a lot of people. Now, if you are connected with the industry, if you know a bunch of producers and have relationships in production companies, you can certainly talk to your friends about what they're developing, what they're looking for, tell them you'd love to work with them so that when there's an opportunity, they may opt to bring it to you. For most writers, the path to those writing assignments is going to run through representation, right? The way we generally see these go is that a writer gets a representative and writer finish up a script, decide on that calling card script that is going to be used to introduce the writer to the industry. Said script is sent out in all likelihood, because the majority of scripts don't sell outright. In all likelihood, what it's going to do is open doors for a general. And I did record another video that is all about general meetings a few weeks ago. So we're going to go into these generals where the writer and the executive meet and see whether or not there's a meeting of the minds there, whether there's a connection, whether they would like to work together, whether they want to be in business together moving forward. From there, a number of things can happen, right? Ultimately, if the producer or the executive or the development executive sitting with a writer and really loves the writer and says, hey, we're working on something. We have this book that we've been looking to adapt for a while. We'd love to hear your take on it. Or it can go that they had a great meeting and everybody goes their separate ways. And the development exec says, I really love this writer, just met them. And ultimately, I want to add them to my internal lists, right? Those internal lists that every producer or production company keeps of the writers that they really like with a specific skill set. Great with character, really irreverent humor, whatever it is. They all keep their own lists with their own headings, and it varies from company to company. There's also a path in which 6 months after the meeting, 3 months after the meeting, whatever it is, the producers or the executives is starting to listen to takes on a particular concept that they're developing internally, be it an adaptation or something they came up with. They will then go to those lists and say, okay, who do we have on those lists that we think would be great for it? And potentially reach back to the writer's rep and say, hey, I really want to hear this take from Taylor. I want to see what she has to say on it. We think she might be a good fit for it. From there, we go to what is often known as the bake-off, especially with earlier career writers. So the bake-off is a scenario in which a series of writers, anywhere from 6 to 10 to 12, are going to go in and pitch their unique take on the concept presented. How would they handle it? What would they amplify? What would they change in order to bring this to life? This is usually a long, elaborate pitch. You may get some notes from the producer or the executive asked to come back if they really like it, or they may tell you, we're looking to take it in a different way. This is really not the direction we want to take it. We'll try again on the next one. That is how open writing assignments usually come to be. It does require some work in developing first of all, developing your relationship with the executive, with the producer, and then just as importantly, developing your take to present a cohesive, exciting take that they may decide to bring on and have you be the person, the writer, who is their person on the script. I can tell you for years, there was particular property at one studio that the studio execs were trying to find writers to develop a new exciting take on. I've had many writers pitch their take on it over the years because it was a big property. And eventually one such writer landed that assignment and developed that script. So it comes about in every different way. It can look many different ways, but hopefully this has given you a little bit of a roadmap of how it is that you get there. All right. If you found it helpful, please do follow, and more coming your way soon. Bye.